at 13, Lisa wanted me to adopt a baby and give it to her. And so all of her life, all of her babies were adopted, all of her dolls.
And everybody has their childhood dream, and mine was to be a mommy.
We'd play with our Cabbage Patch babies. They were all her adopted babies from different parts of the world. Even when she was like 16, she wanted to adopt a kid before she was ever married.
It was just something Lisa mentioned to me one time, that she'd like to adopt a kid.
A manager he had worked with had some Chinese daughters, and they were just beautiful, and they were so sweet, and I was like, hey. But we were sitting there, and we saw a bunch of little pictures hanging behind the desk and started asking questions, and, they were like, well, you can pick the degree of, special needs that you feel like your family can handle.
And that's the way she is. I mean, you're either on board with her or she's going to do it by herself. She reads files like crazy. And so if she sees one and touches her heart and speaks to her, then that's what she does.
And it's really weird because I can look at millions of files and I have a connection with my kids. I've always picked my kids. I've never been matched. I've always matched myself.
Regardless of what their medical condition or what they say about them.
Blake and Madison were super excited when we adopted our first child, Maya, from China. And it took 2.5 long years. In 2008, we flew over to China for Maya's adoption. And that's when the big earthquake hit. It was terrifying. And coming home, as scared as I was, and I got deathly ill the last few days, and I looked at Gene and I said, I feel like I left my heart there. Part of my heart is still there. And he's like, I feel the same. And so, it was pretty much a domino effect then. And when I saw that perfect person, I just knew, we couldn't leave them there. And she had choledochal cyst, and she had her gallbladder removed and some bowel reconstructive surgery. We can handle this. We started looking into more severe special needs. That's the only way I would do it now.
I'm pretty sure we could handle 2. That would give us 4 kids total.
With Noah's adoption, some of the challenges were just his medical condition. We had to go to a specialist every 2 weeks. And we just had a lot of doctor's visits. He had the really big belly. He had a big mass in there, so we had to break that up. And then he was born with congenital and perforate anus.
Because, he would actually fall down crying on the floor because of his gas, because his whole intestinal system. But if he ate solid food, what result he got from it, it was more pain, so Noah just ate a lot of liquid.
So the only way he could go to the bathroom is he had diarrhea 24 hours a day.
Babies, you get them filled up with baby food, and they'll sleep a long time, maybe wake up once at night. He woke up every hour. So, we had to wake up every hour when he woke up to get his bottle. So it was like, here you go, Lisa. Lisa, I don't think ever worried one bit financially with each additional adoption. Yeah. Y'all both tearing it down, Noah. Aubrey was the next one, she goes, hey, there's this girl on there, and we'll, and I'm sitting there thinking, and it wasn't really even thinking like I'm gonna have to work longer. It's just like, will we be able to stay afloat? Because we're pretty good at managing money,
Whenever we first went and got them, especially the older girls, like Aubrey, we got her when she was like 9. So she was very loving. Like from the moment we entered the room, she gave us all kisses.
Aubrey!
Aubrey was also the first of 3 girls that we adopted that had cerebral palsy.
I was excited and happy. I was smiling, ear to ear. I was just excited to have a family.
This is Aubrey's first meal. So like with Aubrey, after we got her, some of the challenges, she was in pain. She kind of was binded up when she walks. Basically, they did a major surgery. They reconstructed both hips. Yeah, after the surgery, we had to carry Aubrey like a month and a half. She couldn't walk. She basically had to learn how to re-walk. I had classic cars and stuff. We at one time had like 2 Dodge Vipers. We had a 92 RT10 and a 96 GTS, like the pinnacle of both. Basically, as the adoptions went on, the stuff kind of thinned out.
But, I mean, it's just stuff. Doesn't make you happy. Carter was born with club feet. So we just got home with Aubrey, and I got a phone call and said, the little boy you were begging to adopt is paper ready.
So yeah, after Carter, Lisa, so she was like, we're done. Because I was kind of like a little bit mad. I was like, when are we going to stop doing this? Because Lisa, eventually there's going to be, you can only put the straw on a camel's back. It's eventually going to break. Not that we couldn't handle it, but just financially, we have to make sure that we're secure. And
our last 3 adoptions were older teenage girls. We were told that older teenage adoptions were more challenging and, they're harder to bond with, but we were up for the challenge. We were friends with the orphanage director, and she advocates for older, hard-to-place children. So she was actually posting some pictures of Avery, and I saw them and was stopped dead in my tracks because I was like, oh my goodness, she looks just like Aubrey. And they agreed. We did the DNA. They were sisters.
Yeah.
Then while we were in the process, we saw Molly's video.
I guess just scrolling through stuff, she goes, we'll go ahead and get 2, and then that'll be it, because it'll bring the total up to 6.
What Lumpkin's family did moved me in particular because they adopted 2 special needs girls before their age out. If they hadn't adopted these 2 girls, these 2 special needs girls would have to find a way to make a living by themselves.
It's like, oh, they told me she would never get a family, she was unadoptable, her time was over.
因为每次看着其他的孩子被收养，心里是失望。
They can't leave the country. Even if you're on a plane coming to get them, if they turn 14, they have to stay.
快到年龄超过每天都祈祷，相信那一天会来到。我们要学习有耐心。
With Avery and Molly was very stressful. I mean, very stressful because Lisa just pushing the paperwork through. If she would have backed off on anything she did, we basically wouldn't have made it. And I mean, even traveling the way it was down to the wire.
Avery was in Shenzhen in the south, and Molly was in Xi'an in the north.
And they told me, they said, you're not going to make the plane.
And they had to run, and they're like, please let us on this flight, because if we're late, you know, they would have missed Gotcha Day before she aged out. Jean actually picked her up 2 days before her 14th birthday. 2 days. And Molly the same. Molly turned 14 in December, and they actually got home in September. So it was very close for Molly too.
非常幸运。和感激。
When Avery and Molly arrived at the airport, we were nervous. You know, the initial meeting private. So I went up, they let me go up the escalator to where they come off the plane, and they were pushing Molly in a wheelchair, and she's like, Mommy, Mommy. And, you know, I'd never met her before, so of course, tears.
I was super happy.
When we adopted Avery and Molly, of course, 2 adoptions together is double, you know, and the average cost is about $33,000 per adoption, which there was some extra cost with their adoptions because it had to be expedited so quickly. I mean, we've had adoptions take a year and a half, and we had to do theirs in like 3 or 4 months.
Just use the home equity line of credit. You know, it was, we had our house paid off at one time, and then we, you know, borrowed against it for adoptions too, so.
We found out about some adoption grants that you could put in for, and we got a couple, and then we just really did lots of work. I babysat probably 12 to 14 kids at one time.
It's not anything if you put down on paper, you know, all the adoptions we did, it's not anything that really makes sense financially to, you know, especially kids with medical.
I love you really much, Dad.
I know you do. You told me at about a billion times.
For the most part, people are very accepting here, and it is a good place to raise children. But I guess there's always going to be, you know, the few. Well, once Maya got off the bus one afternoon, the bus pulled up and she ran in the door and she was sobbing. I just told her that she was just left. She was no good. Her parents didn't want her. Basically useless. Things that they have come home and told me about just the Asian jokes, racist comments and stuff. People asking why they walk the way they do, or, you know, what's wrong with your legs? You're just doing that for attention, mean, cruel things. And they would just say things or like push on her or something. I'm like, friends don't hurt you. But maybe they're jealous of what you have now, because they know you have somebody in your corner. My kids know if they tell me anybody does anything, I'm there. Wanted to be accepted, and she thinks the more friends you have, the more popular you are. And I'm like, it's not the amount of friends you have, it's the quality of friends you have. Maya several times had come to me and said, Mommy, I wish I was born in your tummy. And I said, Maya, you were born in my heart.
Well, I'm the older sister, so sort of have a lot of responsibility, just being a role model and everything.
So she was the only girl and the only princess. I mean, they had an open heart.
I've struggled with mental health, and I've gone through so many diagnoses, but then my siblings, seeing what they had to deal with and everything, seeing them push through it gave me a lot of hope.
I think I forgot how to do my makeup, all the routines.
I believe in you. You can figure it out. Do you have concealer or do you not use them?
Right here, bottom of
Yeah,
your
your
eye.
eye.
Triangle. Doesn't matter.
When it's almost like seeing a flower, you know, when they you know, can start, you know, picking their own clothes that they can wear, you know, going to stores and choosing their own things and growing their hair out and doing makeup, you know, it's...
Because that's a big thing when all the girls come home, they all want really long hair. make it look really good. And then she was just ecstatic. You know, she loved to take pictures and videos.
Yeah, Noah and Carter are like that. Where you going to watch it at?
Jack's house.
Lake Spring?
Yes.
He's a very smart kid, and he'll let you know.
It makes them muscle strong and grow and powerful. Oh, show Dad your muscle. Connor and mine. Mom doesn't have a muscle, why do you? You do. To make my muscle more stronger to beat mine all muscle.
And by the time they reached me, I was already at the end zone.
It's called flag football, and there's no supposed to be no tackling. And I got like dogpiled on, and it didn't hurt, but it was quite painful when those people fell on me.
Is that supposed to be the most comfortable thing?
I know that.
I didn't know you were at the bottom of the pile.
Carter's the little wheeler and dealer.
Mischievous.
Put it all out over here and now.
What kind of pizzas did you get?
Like Rubik's Cube, playing on my games.
And he's always messing with it. So, you know, you always see him. Even if we go for a walk, he's taking a cube with him.
Soft.
Carter, he's a genius. And if he could make $1 off of you, he's going to make it. Because when we play games, family games at Christmas or stuff, and I get the prizes usually, a 12-pack of Coke or something, and he'll say, I can sell them back to my siblings for $1 a piece and make more money and buy more Cokes and sell more to them. So he's really an entrepreneur.
And you do like to help the dogs sometimes, don't you? You like to take Mila and Sophie out.
Molly, she can't really go out because without asking somebody else for help because there's steps, front and back of the house. So, that'd be the good thing about the new house is it'll back us off a little bit on what we have to do, and it'll give Molly more freedom. Where I go to work, I have a break from the hustle and bustle.
It'd just be really good for them to be out of a cluster neighborhood where they're right on top of other people. It can actually be like 3 totally separate living areas. So when they get older, if they want to feel like they're on their own,
Because it's hard to get contractors nowadays, because plumbers, you'll call them, but when they do come out, they're like, yeah, we don't, we're backed up for 3 weeks because we can't get nobody to work. So, I mean, it ain't like it used to be. It's like they could almost hold you hostage.
And then usually we've been going to the house pretty much every day and working over there. We'll have to come back in time for Gene to get ready for work. You just had to have this house. And I'm like, well, I know it was a blessing. I really do. I know it was. And he's like, well, it doesn't seem like a blessing.
Yeah.
And it is a blessing. It's just, and I'll cry if I talk about it too much, but I mean, it's just obstacles, but it'll work out.
I figured too, I told people, I said, hey, I'll probably be dead in 25 years anyway. At the end of your life, it's not what you acquired. It's your family and I guess your friends and the stuff you did while you're alive. The other material stuff is, you're not the permanent owner of it anyway. It's going to go to somebody else. So.
I love the power and the property outside. It's so nice.
Or Madison and Blake, whichever one is in the right stage of their life to do it, would take custody of the girls. I mean, it's in our will that there's always, the house can't be sold.
Dolphin! Cowboy!
When you're older, your memories and your family and, being loved and cherished, that's going to be a lot more important than how many cars or how many big rings or, my fancy clothes or, had we not adopted, we could live in a fancier neighborhood. But, we were not as happy as with our family. But if you can love somebody and give them a chance at a life and, an education and help, you're going to mean way more than stuff.
There we go.
You were fly by a whip.
I got a new record for holding.
Oh, yeah,
And there are hard days, and it's made me realize what's really important in life. Avery, which she doesn't speak hardly at all, but Molly come down, and she's like, Mom, Avery just wanted me to tell you that you're the best mommy in the world, and thanks for loving her. And that's all they want, really. I mean, my kids tell me lots of times, you're the best mommy in the world, and I'm not.
I love you, Mom.
To be home 非常棒的一个母亲。
It was my dream, so I feel like they blessed me more than I've blessed them.
Hey, boy.
There's just so many there that need love, and that's all they want, really. Love, just nurture that everybody should get.